Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Bat Facts by Mrs. Bats 101. Yes, you are correct. You've got the correct video. I will be announcing the winner somewhere towards the end of the video. So make sure you hit the subscribe button on our TikTok so that way you can qualify for the very next giveaway. So you have the right one. And today I'm going to be talking about how we know what the health of our ecosystem and our habitat is, right? Now there's many ways to be able to measure that scientifically, but more specifically, I'm going to be focused on bats, right? So bats actually play a very key and vital role in our ecosystem, and some of which I've covered different aspects in other videos previously, but we're talking about how we can find out what is going on in our ecosystem, like what are the indicators. Bats are our key indicators, right? So how that works is that bats are very widespread and abundant, right? Like we all know here in Belize, there are a ton of bats, right? Like we don't have a shortage of them. Well, actually they're declining, but that's another topic we'll go into. But there is quite a few here, right? So they can kind of let us know where we're at, in our lives as humans, and what's going on in the world. Well, how does that work? Well, being that bats are found on every continent except for Antarctica, right? Too cold for bats, too cold for Miss Bats, Miss Bats as well. So anyway, but there are over about 1,400 bat species worldwide. So this makes them a good choice for indicator species because they can easily be sampled and monitored in a variety of habitats from all over the world. So we'll have like an inside track from everywhere, which is pretty awesome. One thing you'll learn about bats is that they're very sensitive to environmental changes, right? They're sensitive to like a variety of changes like habitat loss, right? Because we're constantly clearing trees in our land, trying to build our house and make our own little life here in this climate as well, and in this habitat. Also, too, climate change, right? We also know that last couple of years in Belize, it's been really super hot, as well as in America and all over the world. Places have either been really cold, really hot, or the seasons are off, or whatever it is, depending on the area that you live in. Also, they affect pollination, and they also can indicate disease, right? So these gives us early warning signals of our ecosystem decline. So I'm gonna let you decide by the end of the video whether or not your ecosystem is in a decline or what state it's in. Now, being that bats is a keystone species, the reason being is because they play many roles in the ecosystem, some of which I've covered on some of the previous videos, specifically about one area. But they actually affect like pollination, pest control, and seed dispersal. This means that their decline can have a ripple effect on other species and the environment as a whole. So for example, as everybody does better with examples, bats are important pollinators of many plants, right? Just like we talked about the tequila in one of our videos, right? Without bats, you have no tequila. Also, they are involved with bananas, mangoes, avocados, and various fruits. Now, they also eat a large number of insects, which help control populations of pests that damage crops and spread diseases. Again, in one of my other previous videos. In addition, bats actually disperse seeds of plants, which help to regenerate forests. So while we're tearing and clearing out our lands, we can build our houses and do different things. That's why, you'll see like a fruit tree just pop up in your yard that you've never even had anywhere near you, right? So they actually help regenerate the forest and their natural habitat, right? And we know trees produce oxygen, which we breathe as humans, and so on and so forth. So it's all interconnected. Everything's connected. We're all connected. Everything, person, whatever. We're all a thing of energy. Like a big web or in a big spider web. That's what I like to tell people. So when bats actually decline, it actually has a negative impact on these important ecosystem services. For example, a study in the United States found that a decline of bats has led to an increase of insect populations, which has cost farmers billions of dollars in crop damage. Bats are also actually sensitive to environmental toxins like pesticides and heavy metals, These toxins actually can accumulate in a bat's body and can cause health problems, such as reproductive failure and death. Another example is a study that they had done in Europe found that bats exposed to pesticides are actually more likely to have deformed young, right? So, you know, it has an effect on everything. Like I said, we're all connected. So the failure of bats being able to produce is a failure of reforestation, you know, and all the different ways that they really help out, which is why when bats from all over the world, I said we can study bats, you know, and test them in different environments and habitats, because we'll be able to find out how much metal, how much toxins and pesticides and everything else is currently being produced in that area and where your ecosystem is. Now, the decline of bats is actually a very, very, very serious problem. It's having a negative impact on ecosystems all around the world. So by monitoring bat populations, we can actually track the health of our environment and take steps to protect these important species. Here are some of the examples of how bats are used as indicator species. So first, climate change, right? I kind of touched it a little bit. Bats, like I said, are sensitive to changes in temperature and precipitation, and their populations can decline in response to climate change. In Australia, there was a study that found that bat populations declined by 30% in areas that experience drought. And we all know we've had drought in Belize from time to time. Luckily, we've had a little bit more rain this season. Also, you got habitat loss, right? So bats need a variety of habitats to be able to survive, which includes forests, caves, and urban areas, which is why they get into your roofs and your attics at home. Now, when their habitats are lost, bats can decline as well. There's another study in the US that found that bat populations declined by 70% in areas that were developed for housing. Okay, so it has a huge effect, not just on bats, but like again, on your ecosystem. Also, you have pollution, right? So how in the heck can we know what's going on with pollution when it comes to bats? Well, bats are, like I said, very sensitive to a variety of pollutants, pesticides, heavy metals, and noise. So when they're exposed to these pollutants, bats can suffer health problems and die. There's a study in Europe that found that bats exposed to pesticides were most likely to have deformed young as well too, which means that they can't necessarily perform like a natural bat, you know, that had been produced naturally without any deformities. Bats are an important part of our ecosystem, and their decline is a very serious problem. By monitoring bat populations, we can track the health of our environment and take steps to protect these important species, right? And to do that, like I'll cover that in another video, a lot of different ways that we can, you know, protect them and different things like that, because there are a lot of things that we need to do. One of the things that we can do, though, to do our part to help bats and our ecosystem is planting bat-friendly plants, such as those that produce nectar or fruit, right? Because it's the main ones that the fruit-eating bats and things like that like to carry, and you know, it helps with regeneration and, you know, forestry and things of that nature. We also create bat houses and other structures that provide bats with shelter, right? And that's why they end up in your attic. If they have nowhere else to go, they're going to roost in your attic, which is not good for your health. Again, another topic that we'll be covering in one of my videos. We can also reduce our use of pesticides, which can harm bats, and it's also harmful to you, right? Because even with the pollutants in the air, you know, bats, like I said, they carry these things on their body. So we can actually test what's on their body to see how much pollutants you have in the air, not just counting pesticides. So there's a lot of different scientific variables of testing that can be done. Also support your bat conservation organizations. There's many of them out there, depending on what area you are in, but there are a ton of them out there that actually have been established for a very long time that are national and international, and they have a lot of ways that they help bats and save bats, and you know, they just do a lot of different things for the good of the economy to try to keep our ecosystem healthy. So make sure that you support your bat organizations and things of that nature. Belize Bat Removal plans to take on a few projects later on in the future. Right now we're just focused on the health of the kids. You know, we really need to help the health of the kids by getting them out of the schools, which is the reason why we're doing these TikTok videos and the YouTube videos and things of that nature. So make sure on TikTok you hit the follow button. Here on YouTube, hit the subscribe, so every time a new post or video comes out, you'll know to study up for it and know when the winners are going to be announced and different things like that, so you don't miss out. And that way you can help play a role to help, you know, save the children, you know, here in Belize. You know, they breathe it in, and that's a whole other topic too I'll go into. The diseases that you get from breathing in the bat feces, or what we call guano. But like I said, it's a whole another in-depth topic that we'll discuss. But yeah, so Belize Bat Removal plans on taking on a lot of different projects in the future. Right now, like I said, we want to take care of the key, most important things that are affecting things for the children here in Belize, as well as, you know, other places. So again, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the follow button. And I do have a winner actually for last week, and I am going to announce that. But first, I'm going to let you dance for some bat facts and enjoy a little bit of the Belizean culture and give you a little break session. And I'll be back. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that little session and a little dance routine. A lot of beautiful things to be able to experience and learn here in Belize, and you know, the people are very, very humble and very exciting, and it's a new experience in Belize. You know, you're really gonna love it here. It's warm, so those of you that are entering into your winter season, yeah, it's you can have a little break here in Belize. You know, I mean, even Madonna sings about it, right? Talking about San Pedro. But yeah, so a beautiful country, a lot of beautiful people, love their dances, their culture, and the different things that they stand for. There's a lot of rich history and things like that to learn about their ancestry, the Mayans, and different things like that. So I'm glad I got to give you a chance to be able to enjoy that. Of course, I always put it toward the end of my videos as well too, so I'll be putting that in there. But I do have the winner, and I want to make sure that I announce that. Now, on upcoming videos, I'm going to be doing some things like how bats affect our health as people in a negative way by having them roost in our homes or in our schools, and why I believe bat removal is taking on these projects to reach a certain, a certain goal in order to be able to eliminate these issues while still protecting, you know, the bat population and survival rate, so that we can all learn to coexist together. Because that's Belize Bat Removal's biggest principle, is that we do not harm the bats. You know, we try to make it a healthy cohabitation between humans and bats, so that everybody can be happy and we can all live and thrive together. Because like I said, we're like a spider web. Every string in the web is connected. You know, it's a ripple effect. Yeah, we're all connected in this life, guys. We are, whether we're human or another species of animal, or whatever it is. I don't care if you believe in aliens. Even if there's aliens, we're all connected in some form, right? So like everybody, and I'm not saying I do believe in aliens, I'm not saying I don't. What I'm saying is no matter what you believe, any kind of life form out there is all connected. So I want to let the winner of last week know that I did send you a message request. I would like you to go ahead and accept it because your account was set to private. Send me a wave. And first, I do want to thank you so much for making sure that you hit the subscribe button and you shared our YouTube video on one of your social media platforms and you followed me on TikTok. Being that you hit all the criteria and even commented in the video, I did go ahead and put your name in the list of people who followed those instructions as well. So I kind of like put it in a little hat, little bat hat. And I did a little drawing and I came up with this is the TikTok user, 592342. Again, user number 592342. So make sure you hit that message. Go ahead and say hi to me. So that's pretty much how everything works for us, guys. Make sure you go to our YouTube channel, you hit subscribe, put in the comments Bat Facts or any kind of comment, doesn't matter. Take any video you like, share it on any social media platform. Make sure you're watching the videos, keeping up to date so you know which videos to look for and what to do and what's coming up, different things of that nature. Do that so that every week I can drop your name into a hat because even the ones who qualified for this week who didn't win will be regenerated into that same hat, right? But the new people we have following these rules will be the new people that will be added to it, which increases your chances to win. So let's make sure that we do that and follow all of those instructions. It doesn't matter if you're American, if you're European, if you're Belizean, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. As long as you have a bank account that I can link my bank to, I can go ahead and send you that money that way. I also do PayPal, Venmo, you name it. I have pretty much Cash App. If you have any of those, or I can do an electronic gift card. So whichever one works for you, just make sure you reply back in that message and we'll get that squared away, whatever you're comfortable with, and we'll get you that money. One of the things I'm going to be doing as well is that once I send that money out and everything, I am going to create a TikTok video just for the winner. And I'm basically just going to ask you a few questions, right? And I'm going to leave that to you to do edit, stitch it, but however you want to do it, just so that we can have a testimonial and know how that $20 came in handy in your life or whatever it is that you'd like to share, so that people can see that this is a legit thing. Miss Bats honors her word, and we're here to change lives and save lives. So let's continue dancing for Bat Facts. Thanks for following, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, thanks for sharing, and thank you for following us on TikTok. Have a blessed day. Let's go ahead and dance for those Bat Facts.